Israeli airstrikes on school results in several deaths and injuries. Over the 24 people died and more than 40 are injured in a bomb blast at a railway station in southwestern Pakistan. And Seoul Industrial City attracts investment worth 2.3 billion Omani riyals during first half of the current year. Those are the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq, the Supreme Commander, will pay a gracious visit to the Medical City for Military and Security Services in Muscat and will preside over the official opening ceremony for its hospital the day after tomorrow. The Medical City for Military and Security Services is responsible for providing integrated medical services and healthcare to members of the military and security services. The Medical City Hospital for Military and Security Services Muscat was built according to the highest standards and finest architectural models, inspired by the masterpieces of historical Omani architecture and with the latest advanced international specifications, and equipped with the latest medical devices and equipment in various specialties. On other news, Gaza's civil defense agencies said today that Israeli airstrikes killed at least 14 Palestinians, including women and children. A civil defense spokesman told reporters that an airstrike hit tents housing displaced Palestinians in the southern area of Khan Yunis, killing at least 9 people, including children and women. The Palestinian Red Crescent also confirmed the toll, saying 11 others were wounded in the strikes and were taken to Nasser Hospital. The spokesman said that the second airstrikes killed 5 people, including children, and injured about 22 when Israeli warplanes hit Fahd al-Sabah school, which had been turned into shelter for thousands displaced people in Al-Tufah district of Gaza City. In the occupied West Bank, a Palestinian was killed by Israeli occupation forces during a raid on the town of Aqaba, north of Tubas. Palestinian media reported that the occupation forces have arrested at least 18 Palestinians from the West Bank since yesterday, indicating that the number of arrests since the start of the Israeli war on the Gaza Strip in October of last year has reached more than 11,600 Palestinians from the West Bank. In Lebanon, where the Israeli airstrike forces launched a series of raids in the southern suburbs of Beirut. Lebanese media reported that the occupation bombed residential neighborhoods in the southern Lebanon, resulting in civilian casualties and significant damage to homes and government facilities. For its part, Hezbollah launched a barrage of missiles towards the city of Safed in the upper of Al-Jalil. It also bombed an air base south of Tel Aviv and other military sites, while Israel said that it intercepted some of Hezbollah missiles and shot down others in open areas. At least 24 people were killed and more than 40 injured in a bomb blast at a railway station in Quetta in southwestern Pakistan today. A Pakistani police official told reporters that 24 people have died so far from the blast at a railway station, which is usually busy early in the day. The official said that the target was army personnel from infantry school, adding that many of the injured are in critical condition. Senior superintendent of the police operations said the blast seemed to be a suicide bomb and that investigations were underway for more information. They say the blast took place inside the railway station when the Peshawar Brown Express was about to leave for its destination. A Russian drone attack on the Ukrainian city early today killed 1 person and injured 13 others, according to the Ukrainian authorities. They said that the high-rise buildings in the 2 residential complexes, private houses, the warehouses of a private company, and dozens of private cars were damaged in the attack. 1 drone fell on the district of Avangard, where large scale of fire broke out in the housing complex. In Odessa, a private house was hit and caught fire, killing a woman and injuring one man and 16-year-old son. The World Health Organization, WTO, and about 50 countries in the United Nations issued a warning about the increase in ransomware attacks targeting hospitals. In a speech before the UN Security Council, Tedros Adhanom, Director General of the World Health Organization, said the statistics showed that attacks on the healthcare sector have increased in size and frequency, which requires rapid international cooperation to combat them, noting that these attacks pose a serious threat to international security, calling on the same time on the Security Council to consider them as such.
Over a third of respondents.
Indonesia's Mount Lotoni volcano has spewed towering columns of hot ash into the air days after a massive eruption, killing 9 people and injured dozens. Indonesia's Volcanology and Geological Hazard Mitigation Center said that the volcano's activity had produced the largest ash column ever recorded, reaching 10 kilometers in height, noting that volcanic material, including burning rocks, lava, and fragments, have reached 8 kilometers from the crater. There were no reports of casualties. Firefighters have begun to control a wildfire that has been burning for 3 days near Los Angeles. A California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection officials say the fire has destroyed more than 130 buildings, forced more than 10,000 residents to evacuate, and burned 20,630 acres of forest. Some residents are beginning to return, but others remain under evacuation orders. Still to come in our news bulletin. The Sultan of Oman participates in Sharjah Book Fair 2024. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. Now here in the Sultanate, the Director General of Health Services in Muscat Governorate organized a community awareness event on the World Antimicrobial Resistance Awareness Week. The event included an educational awareness exhibition whose sections contain several corners, including a corner for antimicrobial resistance, in which information was provided about the topic of this year's campaign and its objectives, while the importance of vaccines in preventing infection was highlighted, which reduces the need to use antibiotics and their dangers when misused. The volume of investments for local projects in Seoul Industrial City amounted to about 2 billion Omani Riyals. Seoul Industrial City, affiliated to the Public Establishment for Industrial Estates Madayan, succeeded in attracting 5 new projects during the first half of this year, with a total number of local projects reaching 113 distributed between industrial, commercial, service, residential, and academic projects. The Seoul Industrial City management confirmed that it is making continuous efforts in the field of holding subcontracting sessions between large companies as part of the city's ongoing efforts aimed at providing subcontracting contracts between large companies and small and medium enterprises in the Sultanate of Oman. Total local production and imports of natural gas in the Sultanate of Oman amounted to more than 42,220,100,000 cubic meters until the end of September of this year, an increase of 4%. Statistics issued by the National Center for Statistics and Information indicated that industrial projects accounted for 61.4% of natural gas uses, as for industrial projects amounted to more than 25 billion 90,700,000 cubic meters. Non-associated production of natural gas included imports amounted to 33,626,000,000 cubic meters, while associated production amounted to 8,596,100,000 cubic meters until the end of last September. The output of manufacturing industries in the Sultan of Oman increased by 10.1% at the end of the first half of 2024 to reach more than 1,865,000,000 Omani riyals. Oil refining industries increased by 63.8%, while the production of basic chemical industries expanded by 17.8% to reach about 660 million Omani riyals. The demand for products of other industries such as minerals, food and medicine also increased by 4.7%. The value of real estate trading in the Sultan of Oman increased by 6.5% by the end of September 2024, reaching 2,150,600,000 Omani riyals. Statistics issued by the National Center for Statistics and Information indicated that the fees collected for all legal transactions amounted to 49,300,000 Omani riyals, an increase of 1.5%. The traded value of the sales contracts amounted to 817,900,000 Omani riyals, an increase of 5.4% for 50,044 sales contracts, with an increase in the number of contracts by 2.1%. A number of Omani companies operating in the field of selling and marketing fish have begun exporting fish products to the People's Republic of China. The Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Water Resources indicated that this comes within the framework of achieving the goals of the Oman Vision 2040 to develop the fisheries sector and transform it into a profitable and environmentally sustainable sector that contributes to the Omani economy, by increasing the percentage of fish exports and opening new foreign markets for fish products as part of the efforts of Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Water Resources to enhance the value of the fish products and open new global markets. The start of fish exports to Chinese market will enhance economic cooperation between the two countries and open new horizons for trade and commercial exchange in the field of food security. It's also an important addition to the list of countries importing Omani fish and enhances the position of the Sultan of Oman as a reliable supplier of high-quality fish products. The Sultan of Oman, represented by the Ministry of Information and the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Youth, is currently taking part in the 43rd edition of Sharjah International Book Fair in the United Arab Emirates. The Sultan of Oman Pavilion in the fair includes diverse publications in literary, intellectual, artistic, scientific and historical disciplines. As many as 2,522 publishers, exhibitors from 108 countries are taking part in the fair, which runs till 17th of November. The Ministry of Heritage and Tourism concluded its first traditional storytelling competition, the Hawkati Al-Lahira competition. The ministry seeks to revive the old tradition of storytelling, which Omani parents and grandparents in the past were used to tell stories to their children. The competition aims to promote culture, heritage and national identity among the youth, as well as attract tourists to enjoy tales and stories of the past. The closing ceremony was held under the auspices of His Excellency Azan bin Qasim Al-Busaidi, and the Secretary of the Ministry of Heritage and Tourism for Tourism. You're watching the Sultan of Oman television. Before tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq, the Supreme Commander, graces his presence to the Medical City for Military and Security Services in Muscat and will preside over the official opening ceremony for his hospital the day after tomorrow. Israeli airstrikes on school result in several deaths and injuries. Over 24 people died and more than 40 are injured in a bomb blast at a railway station in southwestern Pakistan. And Seoul Industrial City attracts investments worth 2.3 billion Omani Riyals during first half of the current year. And with that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all the crew here and myself, Suhail Al-Kindi, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Good night.